Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord's Napoleonic Wars mod is coming along swimmingly. It's had many updates in the last few months, and yesterday we got an exciting announcement about the future of not only the Napoleonic Wars mod, but how it's going to be implemented within Bannerlord and Bannerlord's full release. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about today. This video is brought to you by Star Trek Fleet Command, a free-to-play open-world MMO, not only putting your skills and strategies to the test, but also will deliver you an amazing experience in, well, the Star Trek universe. You know that one. You like that, right? As the commander of a star base on the edge of a civilized space, you can recruit iconic officers like James T. Kirk, Spock, and Nero. That does not even include the powerful ships that can be built by you yourself, the player, the Romulan Warbird, even the Klingon Bird of Prey, and of course the iconic Enterprise. The graphics are goddamn gorgeous. I mean, you can see that yourself. My favorite bit is upgrading the ships and being able to research all the new tech and then implementing it with the characters as well. Seeing Spock on the bridge, and it is an incredible sight to see. You can become the leader or even a member of a mighty alliance and join up with other players. So please click the link in the description to support the channel and Star Trek Fleet Command and download it. We recommend you download it on the Amazon App Store, since that is the best place to get it if you've got an Android phone, or you can get it on iOS if that's more your tipple. But I would recommend Amazon App Store, since they have cool things like Amazon coins and you can save a lot more on that. You get up to 20% off on the in-app Star Trek Fleet Command purchases if you use the Amazon App Store. How cool is that? Thank you once again for Star Trek Fleet Command for sponsoring. In the last few updates, we got to see a little bit of a look at the custom maps that were being made, more specifically Hougoumont, the famous fort or farmhouse that was at Waterloo. Yet just the other day, this video was released, and you might notice something about it. Not just the beautiful scenery, the architecture, of course, the farmhouses, and the beautiful uniforms, but wait a second. This is multiplayer. This is a mod running on a multiplayer server. And boy, would you be right. You see, Tailworlds have been testing out custom servers for quite some time now. They have announced that they were giving certain community members the opportunity to try custom servers to see how they'd work and to help them develop them. And the Sword and Musket mod were one of those people, because Sword and Musket has been such a big part of the development for Bannerlord. Napoleonic Wars was massive in Warband, and then they're bringing it to this game. My god, it's going to be cool. Because of this, Tailworlds gave free reign to look at custom servers and how to implement them, and they've finally been shown. In September, we're going to get our first ever full multiplayer line battle. Teams of real players lining up just as we did in the Napoleonic Wars, in the NW DLC for Mount & Blade Warband, and of course, later on, games like Hold Fast Nations at War, and as we can see on screen, Battle Cry of Freedom's Napoleonic Wars mod. These line battles have been such a staple of the Mount & Blade community, even in the spin-offs as shown here. They've been such a big part of growing a player base, bringing people together, whether it's with regiments or even going head-to-head in multiplayer servers. Now, we've seen up to 250 players on the Warband multiplayer line battles. What we're going to get in Bannerlord? Well, it's going to be even bigger than ever before. Of course, it's very likely that this is going to take a lot of testing, and whilst in September we're going to get our first multiplayer line battle, it doesn't mean that it's going to be perfected. It's only going to be 3 regiments, so on a very small scale. I'm expecting around 30 to 40 players on one server. But bear in mind, custom servers aren't officially out by Tailworlds yet. This is going to be the first look, and I'm sure Tailworlds will be watching closely to see what works and what doesn't, to regard to what they have to change in the future to make it run smoothly. The full release of Bannerlord is going to greatly improve this. We already have the Steam Workshop mods coming within, and of course Sword and Musket will play a big part within that, getting people to download the modifications in a much easier fashion to test it out on these multiplayer mods. Now, the gameplay you see on screen is the Commander Battle, the single player versions of it. These are all bots, but now that we've seen that you can get it on a custom server within multiplayer, it takes it to another level that we haven't seen in any modification for Bannerlord up to this date. Of course, the quality is a little bit pixelated down to YouTube's compression system, but it seems to be working pretty well. Lag doesn't really seem to be an issue. It shouldn't be because, of course, Bannerlord's multiplayer works pretty well already, and implementing it is almost just adding in new skins and assets, but it looks surprisingly great. You can also see they've added Indestructible Terrain, a bit like the NW DLC for Mount and Blade Warband, being able to knock down walls and buildings, make breaching holes whether you're charging through after a cannon shot, or just trying to find the best place to shoot through the wall of your defending structure, making holes in it in order to shoot at oncoming attackers. I cannot wait to see where this takes us. All the gameplay we've seen so far up to this point has just been AI bots, and it's been great. It's shown us the uniforms and it's shown us the melee combat system. We saw that they were having some issues with the reload systems in the past. They've now conquered and implemented those animations, and my god, does it look absolutely fantastic. So reminiscent of those Mount and Blade Napoleonic Wars days. Cannons and artillery are going to be a big factor, being able to even use the first person mode in them. We can see that it's just a retextured ballista, which is how they got that first person reticle, but it is being made with custom sounds and custom assets to put it within this Napoleonic Wars expansion. But it goes more than that. You see, the Sword and Musket team didn't just want to announce that now they've got custom servers working alongside Tailworlds, but also that they're going to be completely overhauling the mod. And the newest development blog was released. The first pictures we can see are of the Dijon buildings. They look amazing, almost a castle-like structure to fight in between when you're trying to put down the French growing empire. Of course, we now have drivable boats and usable cannons on said boats. These pictures are kind of ridiculous. Don't worry, I'm sure we're not going to be getting cannons on rowing boats, but what it does show us is there's possibilities for ship-to-ship warfare in the future, even with cannons. Of course, in the Napoleonic Wars DLC for Mount and Blade Warband, we had ships. We started off with just simple rowboats, but it did get better than that. Naval battles did start to become commonplace, and then in a later update for Napoleonic Wars, we actually got things like marines and cannons that were able to be used on the back of said ships. And my god, that is now coming to Bannerlord. So, it's not rowing boats with cannons on it. That's just showcasing the potential of what it could be. We're going to get large galleons and frigates with multiple cannons. We've been told that they're all usable, so theoretically we could have not just naval battles with ship-to-ship warfare, but also naval landings, finding forts along the coast and blasting holes in the walls, as we've seen destructible terrain and destructible walls within this mod as well. These could all come together in a beautiful symphony of destruction to make this one of the most advanced mods that Bannerlord has ever seen. Now, there are more looks at the uniforms, some that we haven't seen before. The Legion de la Vistule, the French lads with beautiful blue and yellow coats. And then it gets really exciting. The 95th Rifles. Sharps lads are on the case. They are going to be sneaking behind enemy lines, getting beautiful sniper shots from the back. I cannot wait to play as these boys. The 95th Rifles are so iconic within the Napoleonic Wars, and mostly down to Sharps Rifles and the series that came with that. But now having it within Sword and Musket is going to add a whole new dynamic. Having that choice between playing the Foot Guards of the Coldstream, Light Infantry of the 51st, or the 95th Rifles if we're going even lighter, even Cavalry, Dragoons, and of course cannons and ship battles, potentially Marines in the future. This has got a lot to show for itself. There is such a big fan base and community that have been waiting for this Napoleonic Wars Bannerlord mod for so long. Now, custom servers have been introduced. Tailworlds have finally told us when the full release date are coming out, which is potentially going to be in conjunction with said custom servers and moddable server files. Sword and Musket being the first to show off that they're using it, and they're using it well. In September, there will be a line battle. I'm going to try my best to squeeze into that, or at least get some footage of it to show you guys, so please stick around the channel for that sort of thing. But until then, I will see you in the next one.